everyone, to our Groundskeeper chat series. We are live from Palm Springs, California with Leah Withrow. We're going to get down to the details of a wonderful story, I'm sure. We're going to start off with a question that she's probably been asked 1,000 times. But first, I'll let you say hello.
Hi.
How are you, friends?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
No complaints, just we're out here. This sets the tone for the rest of my year, this week.
Does.
And
So don't screw it up.
yeah.
No pressure. Zero pressure.
Yeah, if you mess up this episode, that kicks me back a whole week content-wise. So come on, you got to come through here. But no, we started our day yesterday with just some AZ flavor. I hung out with the ASU grounds crew, who you are now a proud member of.
I am.
So we're gonna get to hear that story. But yeah, what was the question that everyone asked you yesterday? I think I probably heard it about 100 times.
If I had $1.
I know. You could buy everyone in here a drink. Every single person that came up to her. Yes.
If I had $1 for every time someone said, how are you liking your new move?
Oh.
How do you like your new job? How's the move been?
Well, everyone's invested apparently.
Everyone is very
Everyone
invested.
has been waiting to ask. What? Were you not recording?
No, I'm
You
recording.
looked at me like
That was my reaction to the story.
Oh, okay. Oh. He's engaged. He's listening.
No,
Deeply
everybody
interested.
and their mom wanted to know about the new career move, and
So, Leah, how are you
Appreciate it.
liking it?
I love it. I'm sure you've heard this answer about 15 million times too.
Well, every time you were so, poised, patient, and you gave a wonderful response.
Yes, because an honest response. I do love it. I
Yeah.
needed to change it up a little bit. I've been in Reno for 6 years, and it's a long time to dedicate to one organization. And I did everything I needed to do there. I made it leave it better than you found it.
Yeah.
I left it better than I found it, and I left it in more than capable hands with my assistant, who's been with me the whole time. So he knows the facility better than anybody else. That
Yep.
would have been an outside hire, so that was a good choice. And then just personally and professionally, a really good move overall for me.
And did you guys win Field of the Year last year, so you got to go out on that, or was that 2 years ago?
2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at least you got that under your belt at that facility. It's
I
like
checked
a nice
that one off. That
I
was
love
like
it.
a big one. I thought that field deserved it, and I'm really happy to have brought that one home for them and have that notch on my belt. But I'm also really excited to collect some more, maybe.
Yep, definitely. And in Reno, you also got to experience some championships for that team.
Yes.
And be a part of that. And it seemed like you were really ingrained with the team, with the culture of that community around the Aces. And
it's always more fun when you're winning, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's always more fun. So it was awesome to be a part of the Diamondbacks organization as they were building and growing and making their way to the World Series. So to be a small part of that organization and get to be celebrating with them, and now ASU Big 12 champs getting to celebrate with them. I'm just saying they went undefeated when I showed up. So
hell yeah.
just throwing that one out there.
And Field of the Year.
And Field of the Year. I am just the caboose on that train. I showed up at the very end for that, but I'm really happy for those guys because I've seen how much work and how much care and how much pride they take in that field. And I'm really happy for Josh and Mike that they were able to secure that because they more than earned it, more than deserved it. They put in a lot of hours and they truly care a lot about all of their fields. All of their fields are pristine. And honestly, my boyfriend brought it up and was just like, it kind of should make you feel proud that you ended up at a facility that won Field of the Year. It kind of just secures that your choice was the right
100%.
choice. I held myself to a Field of the Year standard. That was always a goal of mine. I always wanted to have one of the best in the country. And little did I know I would be making the move to somebody that also has that standard and also desires those things and takes pride in their work. And so that was an awesome feat for them. And it's made me very proud that I get to be a part of that crew.
And I think we talked a little bit about it offline where I was just like, you were talking about how you got there and you instantly knew the culture was a right fit, that almost instantly you were like, this was the right move. A scary one to make, but how that gives you the confidence in making those decisions going forward? I mean, those life choices, they ain't easy.
I am not a good decision maker.
Yeah,
it stresses
same.
me out. Like I do not enjoy change. I'm not good at change. I know that about myself. I feel like most people, it's not an enjoyable experience sometimes. So going from somewhere that I was comfortable, I had family in Reno, I had friends and a life I had built in Reno. I loved the area, and it was just hard to make that decision on whether to leave the devil you know and the devil you don't. Like, you don't know what you're walking into in the new space. But I did my research, and I asked around about Josh and the crew, and everybody said nothing but good things. And I showed up that first week, and they are as advertised. They are great humans, even better sports field managers. I enjoy spending time with them at work, outside of work. We all get along real well. Josh has built a really good culture of people that take the job very seriously, but don't take themselves too seriously.
I love that.
It's a very tough balance to find sometimes, but they do a great job at ASU. And that was the hardest part for me leaving Reno, because I had also built that culture with Max and Colton and my interns through the years. I really loved my crew in Reno, and I took a lot of pride in building my culture there. And so to leave that was really hard. Leaving the people and the goodbyes is easily the worst part of the move. But they've already come out to visit me. Max has come out for the BYU game, and he got to be a part of all the fun stuff. So I'm really excited that we'll keep that friendship for a very long time, and we'll still come and see each other, and enjoy that.
And definitely still be ingrained in this industry. And I mean, anytime I get to spend any time with Max, and now Colton, like, he's become like one of my favorite people. He's so hilarious.
It was long days in Reno. Like, it's 75 home games, the heat of the summer, special events. It was a long season, but those two made it feel so short. I enjoyed spending so much time with them, and they made the work easy. And they're great. Same with my new family.
Definitely. Well, and a little, we were talking a little bit yesterday about like establishing trust and how important that is, like right out of the gate, to have that foundation. And you came into a crew that already has that culture. They've got all the moving parts are going well for them. And right out of the gate, you're going to have to prove yourself. Like, your season starts here in 3 weeks. Yeah. And what are some ways that you've, helped establish that trust already, so that when things get going, like, you guys already have that flow and that natural foundation for success?
Yeah, it's hard being the new kid in school, so it took a little while to fill each other out, see where I kind of fit into it. But the second I get on the softball field and they see me doing what I do, and they are just like, okay, we don't have to worry about this anymore. Yeah. Like, she's got it all under control. What a relief for them, I'm sure. Yes, I think that was a big thing for them. Was the experience is so different. They've been always a football facility, and they've always had a softball field manager separate. So when they were looking and in between softball field managers, for them to have to take over, they now have a newfound respect, I think, a little bit for how much dirt work needs to happen, and how much a good field goes into it. A good field manager goes into a softball field. Dirt's a little bit different than all grass, so it's funny how scared they are of the dirt. And I'm just like, let's go.
Yep. Is that where you feel most at home? Like, do you think if you continue on as a groundskeeper, like, you want to stay in softball, baseball, or do you ever think? I remember at one point you're like, maybe soccer. Like,
I know. I think this was a good chance for me. Was like, I could never apply for a football job because I have zero football experience. Yeah. So now, being at the university level, you have such a diverse portfolio, because now I have lacrosse under my belt. I got soccer. We got tennis and track, football, 2 practice football fields, got beach volleyball. We're learning all kinds of things out here.
I love it.
It's super fun. Every day is different. You get bored at one field, you go to another. Learning all the different paint patterns. Lacrosse has got some weird lines happening. We're figuring that one out. A lot of geometry. But it's been a real fun time for me to just be mentally stimulated again and learn all kinds of new things. Being surrounded by Mike, and Bob, who are also super smart. Yeah. very educated on what they're doing. So like getting to pick their brains, it's been really fun to talk shop with those guys.
Well, I mean, we're definitely looking forward to what's to come out of your corner. But were there any, when you were looking to make that decision, who were those people that you were calling on? Like, were there mentors that you had in your back pocket or people in the industry that you're like, if I get their seal of approval on this, like, I'll feel better?
Yeah, well, the big one is Joe Hill,
okay,
who's now at Iowa State. He was my boss in Reno in 2019. He's the one who brought me in there. And then stranded me in 2020 when he decided to leave and make me take over. But it's okay. I don't have abandonment issues about that. It's fine. We're over it.
Oh, my goodness.
No, I love Joe. Joe Hill is one of the best people I know and very smart and taught me a lot. And he knows Josh from Iowa State. And I just called him. He had made a couple career changes when he had left Reno and went to go be a golf course GM.
Okay.
And that was a big change for him. And then leaving that job to take over Iowa State athletics, I think he had quite a few life changes, so he would know better than anybody. And I think we talked on the phone for about 2 hours the day after Josh had offered me the job. And he talked me off the ledge and just reminded me to prioritize the right things. And I think I was at that point. I'm at that point in my life where your priorities change. And as much as I loved to be at the field every day when I was 22, at 29, I want to go home. I want to go golf on the weekends. I want to hang out with my friends. I want to hang out with my boyfriend. I want to see my family more often. I enjoy other things outside of the ballpark. And so Joe grounded me a little bit and helped me reprioritize what I thought was most important, which was much needed. And so I appreciate that from Joe. And then Danny Lazito as well is a very good friend of mine. Although we've never worked as co-workers together, we're colleagues in the turf world. And he's also made a few changes. He's lived coast to coast to coast to coast, back to the other coast. He's made more than enough moves to be a good resource for when you're trying to make a good life change, a big life change, if it's a good one or not. And so those two held me down from having a full panic attack about it. But
I love it.
I also, my family and Max and Colton were huge supporters. I told them right away, this is what's going on. I don't know if I want to do it. And they helped talk about the pros and cons. And as much as they hated to see me go, they were so supportive, and they knew this was something that I was going to grow and become better for if I took the job. So
I love that.
Secretly, I think Max just wanted my job, so that's fine. He was like, yeah, go. It's fine. We're fine.
Let's get him on the mic. Work through that. Work through that problem. But so what are your hopes for your new field? What are you looking to accomplish this year? Are you just looking to establish a baseline, get comfortable, or are you shooting for the stars?
Well, so they just got a brand new field.
Okay.
ASU softball got a field renovation this summer. Full new sod, Durag infield, the full nines. They went all out. And so we're just going to keep it nice. Thankfully, I came into a situation where it's not 12 years of neglect and you're trying to climb that mountain. So really happy to just keep it the way it's been or how it is. And really excited to try tournament season. We, because of our wonderful climate, are host to many of the spring preseason tournaments. So every weekend in February for 4 weekends straight, we have a softball tournament. And our
Talk about getting, they're just throwing you into that fire.
The first one, we have 14 games in 4 days.
Oh my
Crazy.
goodness.
And I'm like, Josh, what the You should have disclosed the schedule before you gave me the job offer.
Oh my goodness.
Just kidding.
Yeah, that's no joke.
I will never complain about a 6-game homestand again. I thought when I was working those long homestands in Reno was tough, but this one's going to be a new challenge. I'm excited. It's just a different sport. The girls are so appreciative of the care and time that you put into their field, and that they're a little forgotten sometimes. I feel like softball or soccer, they're not the big football, baseball sports. So I'm really excited for how excited the coaches are that I'm there, and the girls are happy with how the field's been playing for practices and scrimmages. So I'm really excited to build those connections with the team.
Yeah.
Because like we've talked about, getting to celebrate with the team after clinching playoffs or the big game. Like, that's part of it. You're such a small part of the game, but it does feel really good to be celebrating with them, you know?
I love that. And I think when we volunteered at the Little League World Softball Series, it was also really cool to be out there as a female and be creating the field for, you know, young athletes.
Yes.
And like, you know, maybe not all of them are going to obviously have a career in sports turf, but just seeing like, oh, those are women that are like owning their own, you know, thing, and they're out there doing the thing. Like, it's a really cool experience.
It's super fun to shift the perspective of every athlete. I mean, I remember being a young kid and seeing an older gentleman taking care of the soccer field I was playing on, and you knew of him, and he was just kind of quiet and minded his business. But I think it's fun to switch the perspective, especially in women's sports, because as women's sports are getting bigger, it's fun to throw a female groundskeeper on top of that cake and just be like, the whole thing, the whole perspective is now equal.
I love it.
And it's super fun, especially for the young girls, either softball, Little League World Series, college softball, high school softball. It's fun to see them see us in a different light and see that role as a groundskeeper in a different light.
100%. And one thing that you've always done, like, I mean, you walk around here and everyone here has seen one of your Twitter posts or one of your Instagram or TikToks. Like, something you've always done an incredible job of is that visibility for not only, you know, that is your living, breathing portfolio, but you're creating visibility for the whole industry, for women in the industry, for all groundskeepers. And are you looking forward to, you know, continuing that at ASU, or are you done with social media?
Oh, no. I mean, you've seen the ASU Twitter and Grounds Crew pages.
Within days, the TikTok was firing off.
Oh,
I knew who was behind it.
It was fun because I guess you get so wrapped up. I was getting wrapped up, and I was so busy in Reno, and now I have a little bit more time to dive into the creative side. And I've always kind of enjoyed that, and social media was a good outlet for that creative side. And I mean, they do such a fun job with paint, and the crew is, as you've met, is so fun to put on social media. It's not hard to find content. Those guys are so goofy. But I enjoy getting to advertise our industry. I enjoy letting people see what we do, not only day to day, but the behind the scenes of the behind the scenes, like how much fun we have and the joking around and all the smiles and laughs we have as we're doing all the hard work. I think that's what makes our world so special and our industry so special. And so it's a disservice almost to not showcase all of this and display how awesome our industry is. I want so many young people who are lost in career decisions or don't know what the next step is and love sports, love to be outside, just like all of us. And we found this niche, and everybody, I mean, I don't know what I would have done if I wouldn't have found it. This was like meant to be for me. This is the most ideal job for me. And I want a kid that's lost like I was to scroll through TikTok and see it and be like, those guys look like they're having fun. This looks legit. This looks awesome. And then, but also showcasing like, this is what we did up into game day to get to this point.
Those misconceptions and really changing the narrative, as you said.
Yes, I enjoy a lot. But you were also just as good at it. And I appreciate you so much for being the self-proclaimed groundskeeper's publicist, because we really needed one. And I appreciate that. That's why I'm like, Meg and I teaming up on social could get crazy.
Watch out. Well, I told Chris, I was like, Leah's going to stay in my room that first night. And I was like, we could really break the internet, the two of us.
We could. We just TikTok dancing in the hotel room in Palm Springs.
It's too good. But no, I mean, I think something about this industry is that once you're in it, like, I mean, even when we see groundskeepers leave their post, you know, leave the traditional work of groundskeeping, like you see him the same year at conference and now a sales guy. Like once you're in this industry, I think it's your lifer. Like it's impossible to leave because that camaraderie, that network, like it's.
I just saw him walk by. Christo Wallace, who used to be with the Reds, and then left for a little bit, came back,
did some firefighting.
Yeah, left for a little bit, and now he's back again. He's like, it's just that bad ex that you have to keep calling, and you just can't
get rid of him. Christo Wallace with the Cincinnati Reds.
No, I didn't know he was here.
He's back.
Yes.
back and better than ever. And
Guess
we
who's
saw him
back?
last night, and he was like, "Yeah, it's that ex you can't get
I
rid of."
had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured he was being a firefighter still.
Yeah, no, I think he's with Perry Mason or something. It was something like that.
He's in Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mason.
Yep, exactly. That's it.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, once you're here,
It's hard to shake. It's a fun industry. Like, you look around this room right now and you see all these people shaking hands and people that you haven't seen in decades,
I know.
or you missed a couple conferences and you're reunited again, and everyone's in a different role and you get to catch up, and you're seeing new people on the sales floor that used to be groundskeepers, and
Yep.
and you trust those people because
100%,
I remember
yeah.
you when you were X, Y, and Z groundskeeper, and I trust that you know your products because you used them. So
Yep.
it's a fun circle of life
It's our own little corner of the world
It
that we're
is.
so lucky to be a part of.
where the grass is greener.
Hell yeah, look at that. Well, thank you, friend, for joining us. I always appreciate
Yeah.
any time I get to talk to you.
Anytime, anything for you, Meg.
And I could hang pretty. I give myself credit. I stayed out till 11 last night with you.
You did so well. I
I
was
know.
so proud of you.
But then there was a lot of hugs happening.
If we would have found you a sweet treat at the reception,
1000%.
you could have made it to midnight. You needed the little bit of blood sugar spike to
I was
get you
looking
through.
for it
but
all night long, and then we ended up in a dive bar, and I was like, she's gone. Goodbye. Everyone knew Leah there, and I was like,
I just got swallowed up. There's a lot of baseball groundskeepers there, so
Okay.
Reuniting with my minor league friends, my major league friends, just
and that's what this week is great for.
just
it really,
all the hugs, so many hugs.
Yep.
The boys looked at me,
Yeah.
Mike and Mike looked at me, and they're like, "Are you tired of hugging everybody yet?" And I was like, "No, I haven't. This is the one time a year groundskeeper schedules are so hard to
I
get
know.
everybody in one place at one time. So like, it's my one chance to see all these people, and otherwise I just have to watch from a distance via social media.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm enjoying all the hugs.
We love it, and thank you again so much. And you won't be too far. I'm sure there's another episode that we'll have to drag you on once you're done with that 14 game
Oh boy.
tournament.
Yeah.
we'll have to catch up with you.
Talk to me and see if I have yet to move back to Reno after that one.
Take me back. All right, thank you, friend.
Love you. Bye.